Hello, YouTube. It is me, Paul. So, it's been a long time coming, about 9 years, since I made that first Suicide Silence Sucks videos. And I'm still getting comments on it to this day, which I think is hilarious. When I made that thing, I honestly didn't think it would get that many views. That was just me being bored one night after a band practice and just kind of just ranting about something that had just been annoying me for, a little while before that. Yeah, so I made that video and I put it on YouTube, and it's actually gotten a decent response. I mean, I think it's at 11,000 views, something like that, which, for YouTube, it's not really that much. But it is kind of cool because I didn't think it would get that many views. That was just me having fun. I've looked at the comments. Obviously, it's a pretty polarizing video, which when I made it, I knew that's what it was going to be. Because when I made that, that was probably when Suicide Silence was like really starting to blow up. They had a following before that, but I think if I remember correctly, The Black Crown came out in July of 2011, I want to say. And I put that video out in, I actually looked at the date on it, and it said January 7th, 2011, which is fucking insane, because when I made that video, I wasn't even 20 years old yet. I think I was gonna turn 20 in 2 weeks, basically, after I made that video. And speaking of, my birthday is in 2 days, and I'm gonna be 29, which is insane just in the fact of like how long that video actually has been out there. It's been out there for a third of my life almost. So yeah, I made that video. It was fun. Obviously some people got mad, some people agreed with me, which I knew was gonna happen, but that's not why I made it. Like I said a few minute ago, I just made it because I like just ranting about things. Ranting about things is, I've just always done that. Some people have asked me like, well, why did you make that video? Like, why do you care so much? Blah, 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 blah. And honestly, it's just fun. I enjoy ranting, and to quote Bill Burr, I enjoy annoying people. It's entertainment for me. It's just I've always been like that. I grew up in a family I grew up in a giant Catholic family with 7 siblings, and I've always just been a talker. I've always yelled. I've always just ranted and been a raving lunatic. And I'm not always right. Sometimes I'm right, sometimes I'm not right. But it is what it is. You throw shit out there, not all of it sticks, and some of it does. So, in the last 9 years, have my opinions changed about Suicide Silence? Do I still think they're the worst band in the world? And the answer is no. I don't think Suicide Silence is the worst band in the world. There's plenty of other bands and plenty other styles of music that I think are much worse and just much less creative and awful in a ton of different ways. So, breaking the YouTube mold here, I'm actually going to admit, unlike most people, that I was wrong in some certain ways. So, I'm going to go through, talk about some of the things that I was wrong about, and also talk about some of the things that I think I was right about. I even made a list. But before I do that, I'm just going to respond to all the comments that I've gotten and all the different things that people say. So, first things first. Where is it? Okay. One comment that I got a lot of different times was how many times I said like, which is a valid criticism. I try not to say like as much as I used to. I'll be the first to admit I said like a lot back in the day. I still say it, but I'm definitely aware of it. It's really hard not to say like when you're kind of just freestyling on a rant. Everybody has some kind of word that they use to give themselves time to think. Mine is like, some people say some people say some people say whatever the fuck they say. So yeah, I got a lot of comments on that, which is fine. It's an easy thing to fucking give me shit about. Like, I get it. I understand why. It's an easy thing. I think it's too easy, because you could seriously do that on probably most people's videos, especially ones like this where it's just me off, or it's just them off the cuff just ranting about whatever. So I wanted to get that out of the way. So yeah, if I say like in this video, bear with me. It's just how I give myself time to think when I'm trying to think of something to fucking say. So just fucking relax in the YouTube comments, okay? I'm aware. But I'll try not to say it, but I'm gonna say it sometimes. The second thing, another thing was, there was so many comments about people saying, you're not saying Mitch Lucker's name right. Apparently it's Mitch Lucker. I was saying it Mitch Lucker. I don't know what is the proper way to say it. I feel like I saw interviews of him where he did say Mitch Lucker, or kind of like Lucker, something kind of Lucker, something kind of like that. I had a lot of people saying that, which I just think is hilarious. If you brought that up, it's just because you really had no argument for any of the stuff I was saying. Anybody can do that. Yeah, I don't know how to say his last name. And honestly, I don't care that I don't know how to say his last name. There's a lot of people that don't know how to say my last name. Whatever. I don't get personally offended. Which some people, oh my god, it's Lucker, not Luker. They were fucking, some people, Jesus Christ, man, they fucking really took that to heart that I wasn't getting his name, exactly correct. I'm gonna stop doing this too. I feel like Dr. Evil. I keep quoting things. Another thing, what was the other one? The other thing was, oh my god, dude, like, when you recorded that, where you looked like you were so high. Okay, I'll tell you this right now. When I recorded that video, I wasn't high. And when I'm recording this video right now, I'm not high either. I just have droopy eyes. People have been saying that shit my whole life. I grew up with people saying that all the fucking time. My brother's friends used to make fun of me about it. My brothers made fun of me about it. Other people still talk about it. And obviously, cunts on YouTube like to talk about it too. Because, everybody will find every little thing you might be insecure about. Which is funny. But no, I don't smoke weed. I smoked weed when I was, kind of in high school. Maybe like early 20s, but I don't even like it. So no, I wasn't high in the last video. God or nature or whatever the fuck brought me here just gave me droopy eyes, and I can't help it. So you don't need to comment 8 zillion times. I know I look like Jim Brewer from Half Baked. Or I look like a high version of Tom Cruise with a beard, which a lot of people say too. They say that too. They're like, you look like Tom Cruise is, mentally unstable cousin or something like that. So that was another thing I wanted to respond to. So I'm just gonna try and get all this shit out of the way, just because I actually just want to have a conversation with people on here and not just have it lead to dumb fucking YouTube thread arguments that go on for days that don't solve anything, and just people saying stupid shit to each other, which I've said stupid shit on there. I've been a troll on purpose sometimes just to get a response out of people, because it's fun. Like I said, it's fun to annoy people sometimes. I know it's petty, but we're all fucking petty in some way or another. So, yeah, I think that's most of the criticisms that I wanted to talk about on the video. And there was also the people that would say, oh, well, you don't know what you're talking about. You're fucking, you're not giving good examples. I think I gave good examples. I don't know. I could probably give more, but I'm not going to go into that. I'm just going to talk about what's happening now and how I think about it. And another thing that I thought was really funny too was, I don't know who, somebody messaged me. I don't know if it was, I don't know if they just pinned me in a comment or they messaged me on YouTube, but they messaged me, they said, oh my God, I saw this video because it was in that punk rock NBA video about deathcore and Suicide Silence. Have you seen it? And I hadn't seen it, and I watched that video, and that video really made me laugh. It was just hilarious seeing my stupid YouTube clip being cut up into something, which I forgot how many subscribers that dude has, that channel, PunkrockNB. I think it's actually a decent amount. He's got a pretty good following, which is pretty cool. I thought that was pretty funny that, you know, somebody saw that. And then I actually went on the video and I watched it, and it was funny because a lot of the points that that dude kind of made in that video, I actually kind of made in mine, but in a, you know, obviously in a less prepared research kind of way. I did that again. I keep fucking doing that. Sorry, I don't know why I keep doing that. I talk with my hands a lot, even though I'm not Italian, but I talk with my hands. Yeah, so that actually was really funny, seeing that video, my face being spliced into it, and also seeing me without a beard and, you know, young and full of piss and vinegar back in the good old early 2010s, which it's still weird that's a new decade too. I'm still kind of figuring that out. But I think that's most of the things that I wanted to get out of the way, just with like people saying stuff and just what made me kind of want to do this video. But on to my opinions about Suicide Silence. So obviously I was right in a lot of ways. I was also wrong in a lot of ways. I don't think Suicide Silence is as bad as I used to think they were. I think what it was it was more just me being annoyed at people who like them and kind of thought they were the best band ever, and it was just because they were new. And it was and I noticed it was more people that were kind of starting to get into heavier stuff, and that was kind of a gateway band, which is great. Everybody has a band that gets them into whatever music they're in. It doesn't, regardless of genre. You know, my big thing was I was super into punk rock. Here, I'll go back. So when I was like 7 or 8, I heard, you know, I had older brothers that were like 5 or 6 years older than me, and they, you know, turned on the radio back. This was like 99, like 98, 99, 2000, when I was like in 2nd grade, 3rd grade, stuff like that. There was an old radio station in, I can't remember what it was called, but they played, you know, it was the new metal stuff. It was the late 90s, it was the new metal stuff. So they were playing Limp Bizkit and Rage and Deftones and, you know, all those bands. So the one that got me kind of into music in general, I would say, was Rage Against the Machine. That was the first thing I really remember hearing when I was a little kid. That really got my blood pumping, and I remember specifically where I heard it and when I heard it and like how old I was. So that was a band. So I was into all the, you know, late 90s, early 2000s, new metal, all that crap. And then Tony Hawk came out. Tony Hawk 1 came out in 99, and I remember Tony Hawk, that video game, I think is responsible for like a lot of people's music tastes, which is really funny, because it had a great soundtrack. It had Police Truck by Dead Kennedys was on it, Unsane was on it, the Vandals were on it, Primus was on it. There was a ton of good stuff. So I remember hearing all those songs, and then I got super into punk rock from hearing Dead Kennedys on there, and then got super into that and got into like AFI and all that stuff. And then punk rock kind of led to hardcore. Hardcore led to kind of like weird mathcore, grindcore kind of stuff, and then grindcore kind of went to death metal and so on and so forth. That was my progression of how I got into music, or heavier music, not just music, heavier music. So yeah, so Suicide Silence, I think at that time, for kids a little bit younger than me, you know, kids who were probably like 13, 14, 15, I was kind of 19, 20, like late 20s, so I was already you know, I already knew a lot of stuff even before that. I got into like really crazy shit when I was 14, 15, 16. So Suicide Silence was a gateway band. So I understand why so many people, like so many young kids who were a little bit younger than me, thought they were really good, because that was the first one. And everybody has a band that gets them into music, which is great. So yeah, I still don't think they're the best band, but they're not the worst band. I'd still rather listen to them than fucking country or some bullshit like that, because country is horrendous. I mean, I know we can't all agree on whether or not Suicide Silence sucks, people, but can we all agree, as metalheads, can we all come together as metalheads and just say country sucks? Let's just do that instead of all these dumb bullshit arguments. Let's just come together as one in saying that country music is fucking horrible. We all know it is. I think people who like country don't even really like it. I think it just makes them think of memories of like good times, because all the songs are about drinking beer and eating food and, you know, doing dumb shit like that. I know, very, very ignorant that I'm just summing up country, but whatever, I don't care. Yeah, I still don't really like them that much, but I have gone back and listened to the first couple albums, The Cleansing and No Time to Bleed. The Cleansing, I still kind of don't really like that much. I do kind of appreciate the rawness of it in a way. I like Mitch Lucker's vocals on that. I think are actually, you know, they're pretty cool. I don't think they're the best. They're that very kind of stereotypical deathcore kind of vocals from that time. But they sounded really raw, and I like that that album is, I like the way that it sounds. It's kind of unpolished, it's not perfect. So I appreciate that album in that way. There still are parts lyrically in that album that make me cringe. Like I don't know if it's No Pity for a Coward, but that whole like, pull the trigger, bitch, like, it's just, I really get the same feeling when I hear that as I do, you know, I watched some Coal Chamber videos from 1997 from back in the day, and just the cringe factor of something that was really cool but just didn't age very well. That's kind of how I feel about some of the lyrics in the early Suicide Silence stuff. No Time to Bleed, that one, if somebody said, all right, you have to pick one that you actually do kind of like in certain ways, like if you had to pick one, what would you say? No Time to Bleed is probably the one I would pick. There are some good songs on it. I think Smoke, if I can't remember the names, bear with me, but Smoke, I think, is one of them. Wake Up is okay. There's a couple other good ones. There's a song at the end that the song, I do like the song, but part of the reason why I like the song, and I don't know how many people know about this, I'm sure people do, but it has a sample from that 911 phone call from that lady in Connecticut who like had the chimp, and the chimp went fucking crazy, and her friend came over, and the chimp like fucking literally ate her friend's face apart. I'm pretty sure that they have they have that sample in there, which underneath the kind of heavy droney kind of breakdown parts in the beginning, it's actually pretty sinister sounding, and it is pretty it's creative in a way. It's not super creative, but I do appreciate that about it. So those two albums, I can kind of there's stuff to like about them. They're still not my favorite. Like, I'm not gonna turn them on, and you know, it's those aren't albums that I just go, oh yeah, I'm gonna listen to that. It's just, they're just not ones that I really, I don't know. They're okay. They're not bad. But yeah, all their other stuff after that, whew, man. God, when I made that video, I mean, I think when I made that video, yeah, it was right before The Black Crown came out. And yeah, The Black Crown came out that next summer. It came out, I'm pretty sure, in July of 2011. I'm a fucking weirdo. I remember dates about albums and stuff. Like, it's really weird. Most people aren't like that, but I do. Because I'll remember stuff from specific times in my life. So yeah, that album came out in the summer. And I remember one of the songs on it, and you can quote me, I'll go back again and watch the old Suicide Silence Sucks video, but I'm pretty sure I talk about nu metal and about how they were very nu metal influenced, and you can kind of hear it. And on The Black Crown, I'm pretty sure there's a song with John Davis from Korn on it. I'm almost positive. If I'm wrong, let me know in the comments. I might be wrong. Yeah, actually, no, I'm not wrong. I know that's a fact. I know it's that album. So yeah, after those first two albums, I can appreciate in certain ways, but the rest of their stuff, I'm just not into. It's just boring, standard deathcore that you've heard a zillion times. You've heard it a zillion times. There was bands in 2005, 2006, like 2005 to 2007 that were doing exactly what they were doing, but we're doing it way better, in my opinion. I'm not gonna go into what bands, you all know. I think I mentioned some bands in the old video. Yeah, did I? Yeah, I think I did. So yeah, my opinions have changed. But yeah, they're still not a band that I really, really enjoy.